Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
I owed you one from yesterday. If you remember, I forgot yesterday. I got distracted with some lighting issues and I didn't. So I figured I'd give you the double.
So now it's triple.
It's triple. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
Celebrate that's Friday, Tom. You know, some of us have had a busy week.
Are you saying that I haven't had a busy week?
No, I don't know if you have or haven't. I just know I have, and I think there are probably people out there that I've talked to that have had busy weeks. So it's Friday. We should celebrate Friday.
Well, we always celebrate. Every day we do a celebration. So, yes.
Oh, that's right. Every day I do my do. There's 4. Wonder how many of those I can do in one show.
Probably a lot. Although, you know, it's not quite the same experience for our podcast listeners. So,
well, perhaps we can explain to them my gyrations. Do you want to take a stab at it, or shall I?
Oh, please. Why don't you?
I put my 2 arms up and you see my fist, and I sort of shimmy a little to the left, little to the right, little to the left, little to the right, or maybe it's right, left, right, depending on how you're looking at this. And I say, do, just like the end of our intro does. And this came about one day. I don't remember, but we just did the intro one day. And I was like, hey, that's a cute little tune. And if you really go way back, some of the people might remember this, but we actually had some people that were kind enough to give their impressions of me doing it. And they were really special. You can't cue those up, can you, Tom?
What do you think this is?
Hey, it's Friday.
Do. Renegade.
Do. Tuesday. Hey, Tom. How you doing? What do you got going on today?
It gets me every time.
Skills. What, my skill set? That I actually had that available? And
I was quite impressed. I thought I was going down a pathway that we couldn't recover from, but clearly the production team is working really hard. The production team of Tom Brush Incorporated.
Absolutely. We work extremely
hard. So kudos
hard.
to you. I'm celebrating that you were able to roll with that. That's
awesome.
Nice. What are you celebrating today, Tom?
What am I celebrating today on Friday? I am celebrating that I am working on a new proposal for a possible strategic planning opportunity that I have to submit by the 18th. And it was one that came to me from someone that was involved in a program that I did a few years ago. And we've kind of stayed in touch, and we've seen each other at different nonprofit events. And so they just put out an RFP for a call for proposals to help them with a strategic plan. And it's a really cool organization, and it would be fun to work on that with them.
So the things I heard in that may be useful lessons: staying in touch with someone that you did work for. You started the work, you completed the work, but you stayed in touch. You saw them at conferences, you interacted with them. And then when there was a potential opportunity for you, you were top of mind, right?
I was at least on the mind. I'm not sure I'm top of mind, but I was at least in mind.
Did they send you the RFP?
Yeah.
Or say, hey, then you were top of mind. Clearly they liked working with you and they'd like you to consider it, right?
Absolutely. And they could have sent it to other people as well, which is possible.
Of course. Well, that's great, Tom. Congratulations.
Thanks.
But, I think that's one of the ways I've learned that really you can grow your business successfully is by staying in touch with people. And I marvel at the way I have clients who keep finding ways to use me. And they're not always things that I think of. I had one client where I was like, yeah, I'm done. I've done all I can do. And they were like, whoa, time out. Whoa, you're not done with us yet. I need this. you could be on call to do this for me. And they were all things I didn't think about. And I think that's one of the things we get so wrapped up in. I do this. And our clients often like us, appreciate our perspective. And I think I want to go to battle with this person. And if I've got a battle each day, I want this person in an advisory role, and they find the work to support that so they can have you if you provide value to them.
Sure.
What do you think about that?
Absolutely true. There's no doubt about that. The people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if they have built that, why go with someone that you don't know when you could go with someone that you know more about, you have past experiences with? So I would agree. What are you celebrating today?
I'm celebrating. I told you what it was earlier. I'm celebrating this Friday because it's been a challenging week in many ways for me. And I'm just happy to have gotten to Friday. I've got some work I need to do Saturday and Sunday because of some of those challenges. But I'm excited that it's Friday because usually the phone doesn't ring as much on Saturday and Sunday. So it's a good catch-up time. And
Nice.
Tom, we haven't told people, we kind of got out of order because of me. So if you're trying to figure out where you are and what you're doing, this is today's antidote. Hopefully you figured that out. That's Tom. I'm Bob. We do this every weekday. Our goal is to give you, what's wrong?
They can see it on the podcast. People can't see it, but
exactly. Our goal is to give you that one thing. We have a discussion. First we celebrate, then we have a discussion around a topic. This week's topic is doubt. And we've had discussions all week about that. You can go back and watch those. If you deal with self-doubt, if you think others might doubt you, great discussions. And then what we do on Friday is have our discoveries of the week, because one of the things that's happened almost every week for Tom and me is at the end of the week, one or the other of us says, wow, I didn't think I would get to that place. So we share that with you in the hopes that it might resonate with you, or it might inspire you to go, oh, I wonder what I discovered this week. So that's our discussion today. And then we encourage you at any time to share in the comments, or if you're podcast people, send us an email at ringleaders@renegadesuccessnetwork.com, or you can post something on our Twitter page where you're watching this. We'd love to hear your comments. If you are thinking something about your business pursuits based on what we're saying, odds are you sharing it with us will be invaluable to other people. It's how we all benefit from each other. And Tom and I, when we started this, didn't imagine that our discussion would lead to such insights by people. But barely 2-3 days go by where I don't get someone saying, hey, I listened to your show. It made me realize this thing. I was like, that's not even what we were talking about. They're like, I don't know how it happened, but it was really worth it. And so we encourage you to share, because you can help us, you can help other people.
Absolutely. What else can podcast listeners do?
What's that?
What else can podcast listeners do?
Oh, you know my favorite thing for them to do.
What is that?
Give us that 5-star rating, baby. Show us the love. Bring it to us. We are looking for those 5-star reviews. Now, if you think we're 1 or 2, that's okay. I can't deal with it, but Tom will help me cope with it.
That'll be part of November's programming.
That's right. There was a theory that we're going to have November is just each day we're going to deal with a different facet of my neuroses and crises. I do think that would be a great month, Tom, for people. It would be 30 days of me just crawling into a ball afterwards, but we'll have to see if people think that's a good idea. And here's the thing I know. Whatever things I'm going through, there's at least one person out there who's also going through it.
Sure. Probably more than one.
Yeah. So with that, Tom, our topic today is discoveries from the week as we talk about doubt. We talked about doubt in ourselves, doubt in others, doubt that we can accomplish our mission. So what are your thoughts as we end this week?
I think kind of crystallized throughout the week that doubt usually comes from either past experiences or expectations that are set. many times those expectations or the results of those past experiences aren't shared. And so it makes it really hard to be clear on why either we're doubting ourselves or someone is doubting us, or we're doubting someone else. And to me, the answer to that for me is communications. Because the more communications we have about what's going on, about what the expectations we have, and what the results have been like, allows us to figure out how to move forward. It's not necessarily about the results. While that's important, it's not necessarily about the expectations. Those are important as well. The challenge is that if the two parties aren't communicating, there's going to be doubt. You talked about it yesterday. You had a client, you were doing some work and you didn't communicate with the client for 2 weeks. And when you don't hear, now maybe they're so busy they didn't think about it. Yet likely if it's a project that they're spending money on, they're curious and wondering what's going on. And not that they have to, have all the answers. You have to have all the answers for them. You just have to have them. One of the things I've incorporated into all my strategic planning jobs that I've worked on is a regular 2-week check-in, just to say, this is a time, we've scheduled it. We might only be on a call for 5 minutes, or we might be on for 30 minutes, but at least gives us a chance for me to update you on progress towards our goal, so that there is no question about what's happening, what's coming up next, what is maybe not on target for the time that we thought, just so that there's a real understanding, which I believe will help eliminate a significant amount of doubt that people will have in you or you in them, because you're communicating. You're giving people the ability to understand and modify based on whatever those understandings are. If somebody is starting to wonder, well, I wonder if this project's going to get done, and we start communicating, they likely are going to have some answers to their questions, which eliminates doubt. Or they're asking you and you're like, yeah, I need to change my process so that I can communicate more and I can let them know where they're at, so they're not thinking down. So to me, the big thing was, like so many things, it's a lot about communication. And if we are wondering if there is doubt, there probably is, and we ought to communicate more.
I like that. I had a visual as you were saying all that. I was thinking very similarly, but the idea that came to my head was that the seeds of doubt are sown in the lack of communication. It creates the fertile soil that if you're not sharing, even if it's good, or whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, just communicating. If you're communicating, the person doesn't have a time to doubt because they have the information. It may not be the information they want. It may not be the expectation, but just knowing that the person's sharing, this is where we are. I'm sorry, it's not what you expected, but this is where we are, can be really powerful. I think you're right. The doubt comes into play. It starts to grow when we aren't communicating, or when we're communicating, everything's fine, when it's really not.
Sure. And
I talked yesterday about a lawyer that I was working with that you had connected me with, and she had to share some news later in the day that wasn't what she wanted to share. But she just said, this is, I know this is difficult. I know it's not what you want to hear, but this is going to take this much longer, and it's probably going to cost this much more. I trust this person. Had it just been, I don't want to tell them, I'm afraid that Bob's going to be upset with me, that doesn't help build the relationship. When like, and trust someone, you trust them to share what's really going on, even if it's not what you want to happen. I'd rather you tell me, Tom, hey, here's the deal, Bob. I'm not going to get to this work this weekend that I said I was going to do. I got other things that came up. Okay, that's better than all weekend. I know Tom's got a lot of things to do. I know he's not going to get to it. I wish he would just tell me. Or Monday morning, really, Tom, you didn't get that done? You told me you were going to get that done. Well, And when you say the well and tell me when I had the expectation that you were going to finish it, that's when the doubt really is acute.
Sure.
And I think we often think that we have to whitewash everything so that we're not sharing that sometimes we just don't know what we're doing. And I will tell you, Tom, I've learned over the years, my clients are much more tolerant of the things that go wrong when I'm open and honest about it and just say it to them like, poof, here it is. I'm really sorry. I know what you had an expectation we were going to do this, but unfortunately it's going to take 2 more weeks. They may be upset in the moment, but they're going to come to appreciate that Bob's shooting straight.
And that they're aware,
Yep.
that they're not only aware that, so now they know, they also know that that they are concerned. They know that you.
I was having a flashback to an episodes of Friends where they were having we know that they know that you know that they know that we know.
And before you know it, no one knows anything. And I think that's it, is that it's a lot of times it's just being aware of the situation so that there isn't any doubt. It's funny, we did a little video for a client of yours to help them with a process.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I shared with them was all I wanted to do was know where we were at. And because then I felt like, okay, that is at least I know that's what's real. Whether I like it or not matters, but doesn't matter, because that's sometimes you can't do anything about that. And I know what the progress is going to be to move forward. I think those things are the keys of when we have that understanding. It makes it easier to be, it doesn't mean we're going to be happy or sad, it just means we know, we're aware. And so now we can figure out the steps that I need to take, the steps that you might need to take, or they might need to take. And we can be like, okay, we can see a pathway forward. We can see the next step. Once that's complete, I'll let you know. And then we'll move forward. And there won't be any doubt about what is happening or why what has happened, and how are we going to then move forward from it.
I like all that. I think that's great. I think it's really interesting that you and I came at this whole discussion of doubt with some things we thought we might discuss. And we never talked about the communication aspect as something that we were going to go through this week. And I think that to me, when we get these unexpected gems, it really highlights to me how powerful they are. Because you and I spend a lot of time thinking about these topics and going through the big picture part. And that wasn't on the list anywhere.
Well, I think that's because as we go through it, our knowledge, experience, and perspective changes. And I think that's one of the things is until you've experienced something, until you've gained some knowledge around it, you're not 100% sure where it's going to go. And I think that's a lot of times why those expectations are usually not always on track.
Sure.
Because we can't be certain. There are things that are going to happen that are going to impact it, and we can't be aware of all of them. The key is once they do happen, that we share those with the person who needs to know so that they can modify maybe their expectations and understand why they need to be modified.
I like it. Folks, I want to share a private Facebook group with you. That's right. This is a private Facebook group that is admission only. That's right. We want to gather entrepreneurs, small business owners, business leaders, nonprofit professionals in a group where they can have open discussions like what Tom and I had today, where they can share with each other what's going on, the good stuff, and celebrate that, but also the things that aren't going so well. And they can get support and encouragement and advice and suggestions from other people. And they can also build their network with people who see themselves as renegades. Because we really believe that once you recognize that you're a renegade, it opens your eyes to a whole different, it makes it okay to be thinking in your own way. And it doesn't have to be Tom's way, my way, or anyone else's way. It can be just your own way because You have your knowledge, experience, and perspective that gives you the ability to think about something uniquely the way you want so that you can achieve exactly what you want. And it is possible. So go to Facebook, look for Ring of Renegades. You'll be asked a couple of questions. One will be, why do you think you're a renegade? Put in an answer. We'll let you in the group. And you can start sharing these types of discoveries with other people. How did I do today, Tom?
I think you're trying to take over, which was good. You did well.
I get, maybe this is another day for our November, but I get a little antsy after like a week and a half of you doing it so well. I feel like I have to just do it to prove to myself that I can still do it.
It's not a competition, right? No one's keeping score. Well, maybe somebody is, but
it's a competition with myself. And I do believe that the skill gets better as you do it more. And I also think varying it for the audience might be useful from time to time. So the unpredictability might bring them back tomorrow and go, oh, I wonder if Bob or Tom's going to talk about that private group. Because if Bob talks about it, it's all about it being private. If Tom talks about it, it's all about the group.
You honestly think people are thinking that much about, wow, that was an interesting discussion?
Well, there's yet another day of November. So we booked out helping Bob for 18 days. I think we've got three more business days left. So if you have suggestions, please put them in the chat box.
Yes, indeed. We would love to hear your suggestions for topics around how we can help Bob move forward.
The more we talk about it, Tom, the more I think we should do it.
Yeah, I'd like to give that some more thought.
I just like the free coaching.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us today. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you will share it with others so that they may gain value from what was discussed. And as Bob mentioned at the start, if you have a comment or one thing you'd like to share, please feel free to put it in the comments or send it to us at ringleaders@renegadesuccessnetwork.com. That's ringleaders with an S at the end at renegadesuccessnetwork.com. You can always reach out to us that way. So we hope that you have a great end of the week and a great weekend. And we know that we will be here. We hope to see you here Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of today's Antidote. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegade in you. It's okay to embrace it.
Okay.
I added something. I know.
I noticed. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.